Hello everyone, this is Joseph. Welcome to my video. Today I'm going to share with you on making assumption or making supposition involving three quantities. In my part 1 making assumption, I shared with you how to go about solving using making assumption, the standard way of writing the equations. This video, I'm sharing with you the extension of making assumption. This time is involving three quantities. This is the exam smart strategy I believe you are very familiar with now. Okay, this is the question that I am going to focus on, and I will deal it thoroughly in my last two slides. Okay, so the question goes like this. In a farm, there is a total of 36 cows, ducks, and chickens, meaning in a farm, there is a total of 36 animals. And now the farm has three different types of animals. There is a total of 104 legs. So how many cows are there in the farm? Now we are involving three different quantities: cows, ducks, and chickens. Okay, I'm going to use this simplified version using smaller values to illustrate clearly for you to understand. Okay, similar to my making assumption part 1 video, I'm going to use a diagram. Now, I'm going to draw circles to represent the animals. Okay, so for the counts, I'm going to draw 4. Okay, I have worked this out earlier. So the answer should be there are 4 counts and there should be a total of 5 ducks and chickens. Okay, so there are 4 counts. I'm going to draw 4 circles. And I'm using red to represent the legs. Now, the ducks and chickens, we know right that there are, again, belong to the two-legged category. Okay, so one more time. This one, four-legged. This one, two-legged. Alright, so we need to be able to be aware that in the farm, we still have two big categories, even though we have three distinct types of animals. Okay, we still have, yes, in the three different groups of animals, we can still be able to categorize them into two broad categories: four-legged and two-legged. So in the end, we are still in control. All right, these are the two-legged animals. Right, and then these are the four-legged. So it is now back to our making assumption video part 1, four-legged and two-legged. So I'm going to draw similar circles to represent the chickens and the ducks. Right, so there are 5, right? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So two-legged animals. All right, so one more time. Let me present it clearly for you to see. This part belongs to the four-legged, and this part belongs to the two-legged. Right? So we can already use making assumption method. All right, so same as the first video, part 1, we can assume all the 9 animals in the farm are, okay, I'm going to write down, assume all the 9 animals in the farm are, okay, we want to find the counts, right? For part A, so we will assume the opposite, two-legged. All right, if you can remember, we always assume the opposite from the question. Right? Since part A is asking us to find the number of counts, So our assumption statement would be the opposite of part A, right? So cows are four-legged, so our assumption statement will be based on two-legged animals, means we are assuming all are chickens and ducks. Okay, all right, good. Now, so all the cows are pretending to be two-legged. That means the cows are hiding two legs each. All right, okay, so if there are nine, okay, wait, let me write down a proper short statement. So total, the assumed total, wait, okay, let me write down in a proper way what I did like previously. Assume total legs would be 9 animals, pretending all are two-legged, so there will be 18 legs. Unfortunately, the actual total legs given in the question, we have the number 26 here. All right, so the difference in the total legs would be 26 minus 18. That gives us the value 8. All right, okay. Okay, so I'm going to use the next slides because I'm running out of space. So we have already written three equations. The assumed total legs will be 9 times 2, that's 18. The actual total given in the question is 26. So the difference in the total legs will be 26 minus 18. That will give us 8. Okay, so the next equation that we are going to write will be each, difference in each. So I'm going to write down each difference. So this time we are comparing one four-legged animal and one two-legged animal. All right. So since we are assuming all are chickens and ducks, so our final answer will be cows. So the cows will be 8 divided by 2, that gives us 4. So there are 4 cows, meaning the total ducks and chickens combined would be 9 minus 4, that gives us 5. Okay, let's do a simple check. Let's do a simple check. Okay, so counts, there are 4 counts. Okay, give me a minute. Let me present it clearly for you. There are 4 counts. Okay, so 4 times 4-legged, 16. And then the ducks and the chickens, there are 5 times 2-legged, there will be 10. So in total, 26. So it's proven true. Okay, so our important job is this. Reading the question carefully and annotating very carefully, we can conclude that the chickens and ducks, they can be lumped into one category called the two-legged category, and then the cows belong to the four-legged category. So in the end, we are back to two big categories, meaning we can still use assumption method. All right, so remember, assumption method is always about a set of two quantities and their respective value. It must be two quantities or two categories. Then assumption will work. Okay, don't care whether there are three different groups, three different types of animals or not. Okay, as long as you can recategorize them into two big categories. Okay, now I am extending this question for the P5 and P6 students, and then this is based on the ratio. Okay, right? So it's assumption, making assumption, combining with ratio for P5 and P6 students, right? So the following two slides are meant for P5, P6. Of course, those of you who want to learn a bit more, the P4s, you can actually get some idea from here. Okay, now we reading the question. In a farm, there is a total of 36 cows, ducks, and chickens. That means total of 36 animals in the farm. The total legs will be 104. Now the numbers are getting so huge, so definitely we are facing difficulties, super tedious if we use guess and check. So if you follow my making assumption video number 1, part 1, all right, I encourage you to use making assumption for large values. Okay, coming back to here. So one more time, we have four-legged, we have two-legged. So again, we have two big categories. Okay, all right. So let's write down a assumption statement. So assume all 36 animals. Okay, assume what? Okay, let's read the question. Part A. Oh, they ask for counts. Okay, so let's assume the opposite. So assume all 36 animals are two-legged. We have to assume that as opposite. Okay, because counts are four-legged. So we have to assume the opposite. Okay, so after stating the assumption statement, let's write down the first equation. So assume total would be, okay, no, assume total legs. We have to be very clear in our short statement. So 36 animals, they are all assumed to be two-legged. So that gives us 72. Now, from here, our second equation will be actual total legs. So actual total legs given here is the 104. This one, just copy down. And next one, we know equation number 3 will be difference in the total. Take the two totals, we subtract each other. 104 minus 72. Subtract carefully, you get 32. Right? So from here, we still have another equation also involving difference. This time, we are based on the two big categories, four-legged animal, one four-legged animal, and one two-legged animal. The difference is 2. Okay, now if you are able to remember, take these two values, divide each other. I will do this in my next slide. So take the two differences, divide each other. Okay, so since we assume they are counts, right? No, we assume that they are two-legged, right? So my apology. Just now remember our assumption statement, they are all two-legged, right? So now our answer would be, the total counts would be, right? What we do is we have to subtract. Okay, we have to subtract. So what happened is we have 32 divided by 2, that gives us 16. Okay, 16, right? That means 16 are counts now. Now let's go to the other two groups, which is ducks and chickens, right? Okay, let me write down properly. So ducks and chickens, the total would be 36, subtract 16, that gives us 20. Okay, so there are 16 cows, and there is a total of 20 ducks and chickens in total. Now, this is for the P6s already. Okay, so this part we have answered the question. How many cows are there? 16. Part A is done. Okay, now part B, we want to answer the question, how many ducks are there? All right, so the B5 and B6s will know how to use ratio. Ducks colon chicken means we use ratio representation. So duck is to chickens, 2 is to 3, and then their total is 5. Ducks 2 units, chicken 3 units, total 5 units. And the total is 20. So using equivalent ratio, here times 4, here times 4, this part also times 4, I get 8 here. So there are 8 ducks in total, and there are 12 chickens, and there are 20 This 20 is actually referring to ducks and chickens combined. Okay, this is actually ducks and chickens. Okay, all right. So from here, I've already answered part B. How many ducks are there? There are 8 ducks. Done. Right? It's actually not so difficult after all. Okay. Now, so I have already shared with you how to go about making assumption or making supposition to tackle problems involving 3 quantities. Remember, if there are 3 quantities, we need to study carefully whether we can regroup them into 2 big broad categories. Once we have 2 big broad categories, our making assumption strategy works. The same way of writing the equations. Okay, right. Now, the video is quite easy to understand for part 2. So if you are still a bit unclear, feel free to go through the video, watch again, right? Now, the coming video that I'll be sharing with you will be making assumption part 3. This time is involving difference in values. This is a very advanced making assumption. It's a little bit challenging. So I will share with you how to do this type of question in my video part 3. Now, if you can understand my today's sharing, okay, don't forget to give me an encouragement, like my video, okay. Now, feel free to drop me some comments, okay, some feedback after you have watched all my videos, part 1, part 2, okay. And remember to subscribe, okay, so that you'll be notified from me or my other videos being posted in YouTube. Right? Okay. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for all your valuable feedbacks, and thank you for liking my video too. Thanks for your support. Right? See you again. Take care. This is Joseph saying goodbye.